We should have our participants joining now. There we go. Evening, everyone. Sorry for the delay. We had a bit of a load shedding issue. Okay, so we're not going to waste any time. We'll just get straight into this. So my name is Nico. I'm the Managing Director of Global Education. And what we do is we're the local agency for 250 plus universities worldwide. We do the entire application and visa process to those universities. How it works is a student will tell us what they want to study, where they want to study it. We give you a list of universities that offer the program, help you make the best decision in terms of picking the right university for, for what you want to study and for your personal fit. And then obviously help you apply. Once you get your offer from the university, we help you with your accommodation and then obviously with the visa process. Tonight, obviously, we have Reading University. We have Chris Garrett from the international recruitment team. He's going to give us a presentation on the university. I'm going to hand over to him shortly, but just before we start, obviously, as with all the other webinars, please just answer your questions in the Q&A section. Sorry, ask your questions in the Q&A section and I'll answer in the background whilst Chris gives his presentation. And then at the end of his presentation, I'll ask Chris some questions that have been asked and he can answer them directly, and we'll have a little bit of a Q&A session for everyone. Yeah, so again, just remember your questions in the Q&A section. Chris, I'm going to hand over to you. So I'm just going to stop my screen share and go for it.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Nico. So hi everyone. Good evening, and thanks for coming to this evening's talk. Hopefully you can all hear me okay, and you can see my presentation, but please let me know if you can't. So first of all, I will just do a very quick introduction to myself. So my name is Chris, and I'm a Senior Regional Manager within the Global Recruitment and Admissions team here at the University of Reading in the UK. I've been with the university for almost 3 years now, so I know the place quite well. I live in Reading myself, so I know the town centre very well. So I'm really looking forward to presenting the university to you this evening. There's just a short agenda here of the kind of things that I'm going to be going through with you this evening. So a bit of a kind of brief introduction. I'm going to talk to you about rankings, life on campus, including accommodation, and then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of how you actually get into the university and financial aid. Before we start, I just want you to kind of reflect for a moment, and I want you to think what you really want to get out of this evening's session. Some of you might have heard of the University of Reading before. Some of you might never have heard of us before. So just take a moment, have a think about what it is exactly you've come here for this evening. And as Nico said earlier, we're going to have plenty of time for questions at the end. I'm planning to talk for about 20 to 30 minutes about the university, and then the rest of the evening for this session will be devoted to answering your questions. So please put your questions in the chat box, as Nico said, but I'll be answering them personally as we get to the end. So let's go into the intro. So Reading has been around for about 125 years, and an interesting fact is that we started life as Reading College, which was part of the University of Oxford, and it was an extension college. So what this means for us nowadays is that we've got really firm foundations, and we came from a really strong relationship with one of the best universities in the world. Some other interesting facts. We were the only university to be awarded the Royal Charter between the First and the Second World War. What that means is we applied to have official university status and a university name, which is why we have to apply for Royal Charter. And we did that in 1926. So we officially became the University of Reading in 1926. Although life started for Reading College in the late 1800s, so 1892 to be exact. We are a global university. We've educated more than 150,000 students from more than 180 different countries. So we have a huge alumni network across the world. So not only will you come to the UK and study on our very international campus, but when you graduate, you'll join this huge global alumni community. Now, in recent years, we've also won the Queen's Anniversary Prize for higher education. So this is basically a testament to our excellence and innovation in our teaching and in our research. And we've won prizes for our work within art and design, archaeology, climate sciences, and some others. You'll see in a moment, I'll show you some pictures of the campus and you'll understand why, but we have won a Green Flag Award now for the last 9 years in a row, and it makes the university one of the top green spaces in the UK. Like I said, you'll see why in a moment. For those of you that are not actually familiar with Reading as a town, please take a look at the map in front of you and you can see that we are very close to London. So in the southeast of England, you can actually reach London, and that's central London, from Reading by train in about 25 minutes. It's a very quick train, very easy journey, and then you're in central London. Obviously, London connects you with the rest of the UK, but Reading has very extensive transport links to other parts of the UK, such as Manchester, Birmingham, Bristol, and also Oxford, which is just a very short 20-minute train ride away from Reading. So it's very easy to visit the city, to have a look at that kind of really historic university environment. We're also home to the Thames Valley Park, which I'm sure not many of you will have been familiar with, but we refer to TVP as the UK's version of the Silicon Valley. So what this means is we have some really high-tech firms that are located just outside the town centre in Reading. Companies such as Microsoft, Oracle, Huawei, Siemens. We also have lots of other major employers like KPMG, Deloitte, all located in Reading. So it's a fantastic place for students to study, to get some real life experience, internships, and obviously for graduate recruitment once you finish your course. I'm just going to talk a bit about our campuses now. We have two main campuses in Reading itself. So one is referred to as White Knights, and this is our main university campus where the majority of our students study. It's a 130 hectare parkland, and like I said, I'll show you in a moment. I'm trying to build up a bit of suspense, but the campus is stunning. We've got lots of very old listed buildings from the Victorian era, because this campus used to be the estate of some very wealthy people, very wealthy aristocrats, many hundreds of years ago. We also have a lovely lake. We've got lots of places to enjoy. It's very tranquil, and lots of wildlife. Our other campus in the UK, in Reading, is called the London Road campus. And this is really the heart of the university. And this is where Reading College was first established. You can see the picture there of London Road, which is the Great Hall. It's a very beautiful Victorian building. And this is where we host graduation every year. So where students get dressed up in their graduation gowns. And then they have some nice celebrations on the same day. The Institute of Education and the School of Architecture are also located here. And this campus had about a £30 million redevelopment just a few years ago. So it's a beautiful place to study. Aside from these two campuses, we also have a campus in Malaysia, and this campus serves the students in that locality who want to get a UK degree without actually coming to the UK. And then our business school, which I'll mention a bit later, they also have a campus in South Africa. So some of you might be aware of the Henley Business School, South Africa. So we really do have a global footprint in terms of our campuses. Now, this is the moment I was making you wait for, but this is our White Knights campus. This is about half to 3/4 of the campus. We couldn't quite fit the whole picture in one shot. But as you can see, it really is a beautiful space. You can see some of the modern buildings that we have, the big circular building, the kind of block of buildings that we have is one of our accommodation sites. Just to the left of that, you can see Fox Hill House, which is our School of Law, which is an old Victorian building. But all of the buildings that you can see in the center of this picture are part of the campus. If you're thinking about joining us, then you would live and study here on the campus. We have lots of rooms, and I'll talk a bit more about accommodation as we come through the presentation. But it really is a very tranquil place. And in the times that we see ourselves in at the moment, it's just such a big, clean, green, open space for students to live and to study. So if you're wondering what programs we offer, if you look in front of you, you can see how we split the university into different subject areas. So we have the arts, humanities, and social sciences. We have the pure science, life sciences, and then we have the Henley Business School. If we combine all of our undergraduate and postgraduate programs together, we have more than 350 specific programs that you could study. Now, I'm sure that some of you here this evening are interested in coming to the UK for a bachelor's degree, some of you for a master's, some of you maybe even for a PhD. Now, at undergraduate level, we actually have so many combination degrees. So the subject areas that you can see here are the very broad areas. But for example, within archaeology, there are probably about 10 different routes where you can combine archaeology with different subjects such as classics, anthropology. So we have lots of joint honours degree where you can combine two subjects together that you might have an interest in that may be complementary, and you'll study both of those subjects and you'll graduate with a degree with joint honours. Now, in terms of rankings, we're very proud that we're one of the top universities in the world rankings. So we're a top 30 UK university in the QS World Rankings from 2021. So that makes us the 27th highest UK university in those world rankings. On the left-hand side of your screen, you can see some of the subjects that we have that are in the top 20 in the UK rankings, and that's in the Complete University Guide. So it's a range of subject areas. Rankings are important to many students, but please make sure that you really understand what the rankings mean, and don't be too worried about your subject being the highest ranked possible. It's also about the student experience and what you gain outside of your subject from that university. We are a world-leading research institution. We're a research-intensive institution. We're not part of the Russell Group, which some of you may be familiar with. And the Russell Group is a group of very research-intensive universities in the UK. Now, most people actually think that we're a Russell Group university, which I think is a real compliment, but we're proud of our own research standing. And as you can see here, 98% of our research has been deemed to be internationally recognized. So that's internationally excellent or has world-leading impact. And these statistics are based on the latest research excellence framework that was compiled in 2014. There's some other interesting stats here. So 19th in the UK for research intensity, 24th for basically the amount of income that we get from research councils. So these are government bodies and other organizations that actually give the university money to conduct research. And then the power of our research is ranked 27th in the UK. Now, for some of you, you might be thinking, why does this really make a difference to me? But I'm going to show you a few of our really flagship areas. Now, climate sciences is very important to every single one of us in the world. We might not work in climate sciences, we might not have studied climate sciences, but what's happening right now in the world affects every single one of us. Reading is a world-leading institution looking at climate sciences. You can see here that we're ranked second in the world for meteorology and atmospheric sciences. And our professors have made significant contributions to climate change, so much so that they were awarded a Nobel Prize back in 2007. Some of you might be familiar with the image you can see at the bottom of this slide. These are called the climate stripes. These climate stripes were developed by one of our professors, that's Professor Ed Hawkins, and he has used these stripes to depict the change in climate, the change in temperature across the world over the last 100 or so years. This year, 2021, is the year of climate change, so you're going to be seeing lots more about this and probably the climate stripes across the news and various other media outlets. So watch out for this one. As well as our research in climate sciences, we're also a world leader in the field of agriculture, food and health. And Reading, our School of Agriculture Policy and Development, is actually ranked 9th in the world, and we're the highest ranked UK university for agriculture and forestry. And again, this is based on the QS World Subject Rankings from last year. We're researching issues such as climate change, resource degradation, hunger, poverty, diet and health. Again, all aspects that really affect every single one of us in the world as we see it. Now, aside from those two subject areas, you might know us again for the Henley Business School. So the Henley Business School was established as the Henley Management College in 1945. It's one of the oldest business schools in the UK. The business school is part of the University of Reading and has been for the last 11 to 12 years. Henley has triple accreditation, which makes it one of the elite business schools in the world. About 100 business schools in the world have this triple accreditation. So if you come and study with Henley, you're guaranteed an excellent standard of education. Within Henley, we're also home to the ICMA Centre, and this is where we teach all of our specialist finance degrees. We actually have over 100 trading simulation terminals across 3 dealing rooms, which have been equipped with software from Thomson Reuters and Bloomberg. To give you a bit more information about Henley, you can see some of the key rankings here. So they're ranked 2nd in the UK for land and property management. And this is looking at our programs in real estate and planning. They're number 3 in the UK for their executive MBA, number 5 in the UK for the Masters in Finance, and number 8 in the UK for their Masters in Management. So you can see that they really are a very, very well established and well ranked business school. The business school itself has almost 80,000 alumni. So again, when you graduate, you're part of this very connected network of Reading and Henley graduates across the world. International student support is very important for you as a student coming to the UK. We have lots of different schemes and support that we offer all of our students. One of these is the AEP, so the Academic English Programme, and this is free courses to help enhance your language and academic skills, and these are offered to all of our international students for free. RUSU, which is the Reading University Students' Union, they have more than 150 sports clubs and societies. So again, you can join lots of those sports clubs, societies that look at culture, faith, and other interests. Careers is also very important. As an international student, you will invest a lot of your money and your time coming to the UK to get a good education. Whilst you're actually here, you'll benefit from our award-winning career service. This was an award that they won in 2007 with Times Higher Education. So if we look a bit more now at campus life, as I showed you on the picture earlier of White Knights, it's a very extensive campus that's home to our library. We have multiple cafes and restaurants. We actually have a supermarket on the campus. and lots of other shops selling Asian food, for example. We have our own hotel because we do host lots of international conferences. So we can host those academics that are visiting us in our hotel. We have a bank, and we have lots of entertainment venues. So we have Mojo's Bar, we have Park House, which is a pub set in a very Victorian-looking building, and then we have 360, which is our on-campus nightclub. So we have club nights, usually 2 nights per week in normal times. At the moment, obviously, we can't be running anything like that because of COVID. But there's a really vibrant scene on the campus. We have a nursery and a preschool on the campus, and close by we also have a medical centre and a dentist, which students can register with when they arrive with us. Sports is another big part of life on campus, and I'll come on to sports a bit more in a moment. So as I mentioned, the library is in the heart of the campus, and we've actually invested £40 million in recent years in the redevelopment and refurbishment of the library, which actually completed back in 2019. The image on the left is the library from the outside, and inside you can look at the image on the right hand side. It's very modern. It's open 24 hours during the week, during term time. But you have 24/7 access to all of the resources that are online, so books and other journals. For those of you that are interested in sports, we have the sports park, which is on the university campus. We have a sports hall, we have squash and tennis courts, we have a gym and lots of air-conditioned studios. The gym offers very reduced price membership for students. But we have so many sports clubs that you can find out about during Freshers Week. If you're interested in finding out a bit more now about what we offer, then head over to the Student Union website and you can see all of the current clubs that we offer. Students will join the clubs for exercise, to make friends, but also if they're playing competitively in their home country or here in the UK, then it's an opportunity to continue playing. We're a member of the Bucks League, so we actually play other universities. It's like an inter-university league here in the UK. So if you're selected to be in one of the competitive teams, then you can take part in that. The Student Union does offer a sports scholarship of £2,000, and this is offered to students who are playing their current sport at national level in their home country. Now, you're probably thinking, this all sounds great, the campus looks lovely, where do I live? We have accommodation on the campus itself and all around the campus. On campus, we have almost 5,000 rooms, and these are all located within a 10 or 15-minute walk of the centre of the main campus. There's lots of different types of rooms, and as you can see here, we have rooms without a basin, with a basin, with an ensuite. You can have a studio or even a one-bedroomed apartment to yourself. Now, obviously, they all range in price and it depends on your budget. But if you head over to our website, you can see much more information about the types of accommodation that we offer, how much it costs, and you can actually cross-reference that with the map of the campus to see exactly where the halls of residence are located. We offer catered and self-catered options. So if you're planning to go for a catered option, then you can have your meals included, and the meals are offered at our catering outlets. Self-catered means you get your own kitchen so that you and your housemates can cook your own meals. This is Wantage Hall. This is one of our halls of residence, and this is one of the first halls that we actually had. And for those of you that have seen films like Harry Potter, it looks very much like the halls from the University of Oxford and the University of Cambridge, and that goes back to the relationship that we had with the University of Oxford in the late 1800s. But I just thought I'd show you this picture to give you an idea that we have some modern accommodation and we also have some very traditional options as well. So for those of you that are interested in applying to study with us, we obviously have entry requirements that we give students as a guide so that you're aware of the kind of caliber of student that we're looking for. So you'll see in front of you here some of our requirements. Now, if you're studying A-levels or the International Baccalaureate, generally, your offer would be around 3 A's to 3 B's or 30 to 35 points. The good news is A-level and IB requirements are on every single course page on our website. So if you look at the entry requirements section, you'll know exactly what you need to get into the specific program that you're looking for. If you're in South Africa, then obviously we accept the National Senior Certificate. And to give you a guide, most of the courses at Reading, you'd be expected to achieve an A and 2 B's in your A level. And in the NSC, that equates to 77666 or AABBB. We do also accept English language from within your senior school certificate, and this has to be at grade 5 or grade C. If you meet that English language requirement, then you're not required to take another English language test, such as IELTS or TOEFL, for example. If you're here tonight listening and interested in a postgraduate course, then we have requirements that depend on the subject area that you're applying for. But generally, you're looking at a 2-1 or a high 2-2 for most of our programs. I've just got one other slide here for the postgraduate admissions for life sciences science and computer science. If you ever have any questions about the equivalencies, then you should refer to our website. And we actually have a page for every country where we have assessed the curriculum in your country, and it will give you more of an idea of what we'd be looking for depending on the program you're interested in. Now, once you know how to get in, you need to know how to actually apply. If you're looking at applying for a bachelor's degree, then you'll apply via Ucas. And Ucas is a centralized admission service that all universities in the UK are part of. So you submit one application to up to 15 universities. Usually the deadline for applying is 15th of January in the year that you're intending to study. That deadline is becoming less and less relevant now that universities have much more flexibility in keeping their spaces on their programs open. So the very competitive universities or very competitive programs at universities are likely to close their applications after the 15th of January. But it's best to check either on Ucas, on the Ucas website, or with the university itself. Here at Reading, the majority of our courses are still open for applications for students who wish to join us this autumn. Now, if you're more interested in applying for a master's degree or a PhD, then you actually apply directly to the university, and we have our application service online. It's very easy to complete. There's no application fee, and once you submit that online application, your information will go directly to our central admissions team. Now, for both undergraduate and postgraduate applications, we need details of any qualifications that you're currently studying, so pending or incomplete, including a kind of prediction of what you're expected to achieve in those qualifications. We'll also need you to submit certificates for any qualifications that you've already completed, whether that's your National Senior Certificate, A-levels, or your IB. An English language test, if you need one. Now, you don't actually have to have an English language test and meet the requirements before you apply. But if you do need to take an English language test, then that would be a condition of your offer. You'll also need a personal statement where you tell us basically why you want to apply for this course, what's your motivation, what's your understanding about the course. And that's supported by an academic reference or sometimes 2 references. And that's from a teacher at your school or a professor from your university if you're applying for a master's degree. Now, the good news for you all is that Global Education are here to help you with the whole of your application process, so helping you find a university, the right course, and actually submitting the application. So if you're interested in applying to Reading, then as Nico said at the beginning, please reach out to Global Education and let them know what you're interested in. Now, funding is an important aspect. International students are expected to fund their studies in the UK, but we have some financial support that we offer students. So if you're applying for a master's degree, then you're eligible to apply for an award which is part of our master's scholarship scheme. We have general scholarships that are open for any students from any country applying for any subject. And we also have some subject specific awards that are offered by the academic schools here at Reading directly. Now, each of those awards is worth £4,000. It's a tuition fee discount, so that £4,000 would be deducted from the fee that you need to pay. And these are all based on your academic excellence, so they're offered to the highest achieving students. These are not automatic scholarships, and not everyone is guaranteed one. So once you've applied to us for your master's degree and you've had an offer, we'll then write to you to invite you to submit your application for the scholarship, and then we assess all of our scholarships together. The scholarships have different deadlines, so I'd recommend looking at our website, the Master Scholarship page, and you'll find out more information. If you're interested in studying business with the Henley Business School, then you're in luck, because Henley has an extensive fund of scholarships that they offer. The fund is usually worth about £1 million per year, and they have awards that sometimes go up to £10,000 off your tuition. As with our scholarships, they're based on academic excellence. So as a university, we're really looking for high achieving students. Now, lots of you might be familiar with Commonwealth and Chevening scholarships. These are offered in conjunction with the government, the Foreign and Commonwealth Office here in the UK. We're part of those schemes. Some of our courses at master's and PhD level are eligible. It changes year by year, and the application deadlines are set by Commonwealth and Chevening themselves. Generally, if you want to apply for one of those scholarships, you have to have an offer from the university first. Therefore, you'd need to submit your application to Reading to get your conditional or your unconditional offer. We've got more information on our website about these scholarships and other donor awards that are available. So head over to the website for more information when you can. If you want to know more about Reading generally than what I've given an overview here, then head over to the webinar section of our website. If you just Google University of Reading webinars for international students, it will take you directly to that page. On that page, we've got pre-recorded webinars and live and upcoming webinars looking at different subject areas, life as a student, about placements and careers, how to apply, and visas and immigration, which is obviously very important. I'm almost at the end now, so if you're interested in following us on social media, then you can see in front of you our Instagram and Facebook channels. So feel free to follow us and stay up to date with any stories that we post, with scholarship opportunities. So this is just a nice, fun area where you can find out a bit more about Reading and life on campus. Now, I hope that that's been a useful presentation for you. And as we come to the end, I just want to reflect on some of the things that we've talked about. So obviously we've covered quite a lot about the university generally, the campus, our rankings, a bit more about the programs, our accommodation. But I really hope it's been useful for you. And I would be more than happy to now go into the Q&A section of today's session. So thanks again for listening. And if you haven't already, then please do submit your questions. So my contact details are here on the screen if you want to contact me directly, or you can submit a question via our website. So back to Nico now, who I think is going to fire some questions at me. So go ahead.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. Before we get into the questions, I'm going to leave your details up for a bit longer, and then we'll switch over to our contact details.
Sure.
I'm just going to answer one question that appeared in the chat, where students asking, do we need to pay Global Education for their services? Just so everyone knows, obviously for participating in the webinar series, all our fees, which is an admin fee of $100 or 2,000 Rand, that's all been waived for any student that has signed up for the webinar. So you don't have to pay us anything. Obviously, we just tick you off on the registration sheet when you're ready to apply. Obviously, we'll find you in the system, so you don't have to worry. Chris, there's some interesting questions here. I'm just going to dive straight into them if you're
Super.
Happy with that.
Sounds good.
So we're just going to go in order. The first one that came through is, does Reading offer medicine?
Unfortunately not. It's a very simple answer. We have lots of programs in biological sciences, biochemistry, but we don't offer pure medicine at the moment.
Awesome, thank you. Sandila has a bit of a particular question, so I'm going to read it out to you. He or she, excuse me if I'm wrong, is asking or saying, I wish to study my master's in education at the University of Reading next year. It was very much sad. I was very much sad to learn on the university's website that the University of Reading needs one to have at least 3 years teaching experience before one can study for a master's degree at the university. I'd like to know the reason behind this requirement.
So I can't talk specifically for the Institute of Education because I'm not a professor in that field, but what I know is the Institute of Education is very highly regarded in the UK. It's very well ranked. If I'm not mistaken, we're ranked in the top 10 in the UK. Unfortunately, what this means is that the Institute can be very selective with the students that they wish to admit. So their experience is students with longer experience generally do well on the course. Now, this depends on whether you're applying for a teaching qualification, so one of our PGCEs, or the actual MA in education. And the MA in education is actually designed for teaching professionals who have already got some teaching experience who are looking to progress further in their career. So I'm not sure which one you're looking for, but we do have both, and they do have different work experience requirements. So make sure that you check all of the course pages really carefully. But again, reach out to me and I'm happy to put you in contact with someone at the Institute of Education. You can discuss that further.
Awesome, thanks, Chris. Next one is from Patience, and she's put in quotation marks, obviously something that's on the website. So I'm just going to read it out to you and
Sure.
then her question. So in quotation marks, it says, get a disclosure and barring service, in brackets DBS certificate, if you're teaching students under 18. That's the quotation. And then her question is, please help with the meaning above.
Okay, so DBS stands for Disclosure and Barring Service. And what this basically is a security check that's done in the UK. So we have very strict safeguarding rules in the UK when you're working with vulnerable adults and children. So if you want to be a teacher, a nurse, any kind of professional qualification, you have to have one of these tests. Now, you don't actually have to have this test done in your home country. The test is done once you actually arrive in the UK if you're an international student. It's slightly different for international students, where what actually happens is we try, not we, the university, but the DBS service actually look at international police records. So what they're trying to do is make sure that you don't have any prior criminal convictions that might make you a risk to the children or the vulnerable adults that you might come into contact with if you're studying a course where that's a core component of the program. If you just Google DBS, it's really widely known in the UK, and I completely understand that it's a very alien term for you, that because you're obviously not based in the UK, but if you just do a bit of Googling and you can find out a bit more about that. But we'll tell you more about that if you apply to us at the right time.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. Just quickly before I ask the next question, obviously, everyone, you can see our contact information there on the screen. If you are ready to apply or would like to apply, just shoot us an email or send us, call us on the landline number, and we can get the ball rolling. Next question, Chris, is from Tinashe, and he wants to know, does Reading offer social work degrees?
Unfortunately not. Not at the moment. But there are lots of other universities that do. And I'm sure that Global Education can help you.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. We had a few questions that we had some students who couldn't make the presentation. So we actually had some sent through to us.
Great.
And one of the students wanted to know is, does Reading offer any sporting bursaries or scholarships?
Yep. So as I mentioned in the presentation, we have a £2,000 sports scholarship that's offered in conjunction with the Students' Union. Full details of that are on our website. And again, the power of Google, if you just Google sports scholarship, University of Reading, it will take you directly to the page and you can find out more about how to apply and who's eligible for that scholarship.
And just so I cover all bases, because I know the student is a bit particular, you don't have any particular scholarships for any specific sports?
No, we don't. It's any sport with students that are playing sport at national level, basically.
Okay.
Reading's really well known for rowing because we're based on the River Thames. We've got lots of students who have studied with us, who were part of the rowing team, who have graduated and they've gone on to win Olympic gold medals. So we give Cambridge and Oxford a run for their money. But yeah, we're very well known for rowing, if anyone's interested in being on the water.
Awesome. Chris, inevitably we were going to get to this. We have a couple of COVID questions here.
Of course.
First one is, how is the university helping international students obviously enroll in their classes and maintain the same sort of standard that they would have got if they were on campus in terms of their classes?
Yeah, so the first thing I'd say to that is we don't necessarily help international students any differently to UK students, because when students are studying online, you could be anywhere. So what we were one of the first universities last year during the height of the pandemic that actually made the decision to offer a blended learning approach in the autumn term. So what that means is you have some face-to-face in small groups and seminars, tutorials, but the rest of the content is delivered online. Lots of other universities just delivered their content online. So I think our students were really happy that they had some face-to-face content. Now, some of our international students started in September online with the hope that they'd be able to come to the UK by January, but with the situation, in the UK and other parts of the world, it just hasn't been possible. So those students are still studying online, but we've had really good feedback. The classes are generally pre-recorded, so they're not time specific. So if you're in Asia, for example, which is a very different time zone to the UK, then you don't have to get up in the middle of the night to listen to a lecture. And actually, what has really accelerated the university is the kind of the way that we have digitized everything. So we use a lot of different platforms, but the platform that we use to communicate between students and staff is Microsoft Teams. So students can actually contact their professors via Microsoft Teams and book one-to-ones. So in some of our academics have a calendar where they can advertise the slots that they have available. You can click your slot, done. You don't even have to talk to anyone to arrange it. We have been running lots of other sessions. All of our careers events that would normally be on campus, like large-scale exhibitions, have all been moved online. So I wouldn't say that the experience that students have received is different in terms of what they would have actually physically received. It's just in a very different format. So, but have a look on social media. You'll see some students are unhappy and some students are really happy, and you'll see the same picture across every university. But if you actually really want to know what it's been like, head over to our website, and we've got a section where you can actually chat to our current students. We pay these students to work a few hours every week, but we don't pay them to say something specific. We pay them to tell the truth. So go and chat to them and ask them what it's been like, and you'll get the first-hand answer from the right people. So I hope that's been useful.
Definitely. And there's a bit of a follow-up question. Well, it's not a follow-up. I would consider it a follow-up, but it's not from the same student.
Okay.
And they want to know, or the student wants to know, obviously the university is big on graduate employment outcomes. How is the university helping students who are obviously starting online network and make connections?
So within the course, there's lots of opportunities to network, and these are kind of networking opportunities that you would imagine by attending your lectures and seminars and tutorials. The student union, they're also putting on lots of events so students can connect. But the careers and employability team, which I said award-winning, they have worked tirelessly to really make sure that they're connecting with students and connecting employers with students as well. So many events, insights evenings where we have people from industry that are actually talking on panels, discussing, what's happening in the world right now and how careers are changing. But we were already fairly digital in terms of what we were offering in that area. So we've just basically enhanced what we're offering. The careers advisors are offering sessions online over the phone, like they would face to face. So, kind of sessions looking at how to apply for graduate routes, how to be successful at an interview, what to expect from assessment centres. So I think our students have felt very, very well supported indeed. Yeah, I think that's all I'd say on that one.
Awesome. Fantastic, Chris. Thank you so much. I think that's all the questions. Nothing else has come through.
Okay.
I'm not going to keep you too much longer. I just want to say thank you very much for being part of the webinar series, and thank you to everyone for attending. Again, obviously all our contact details have been shared with you, so if you'd like to get the ball rolling and to apply to the University of Reading, please make contact with us, and we'll get that started as soon as possible. And Chris, again, just thanks so much for being part of this, and hopefully the next one is in person.
I hope so too. So thanks to you, and thanks everyone for listening in, and take care.
Awesome. Have a good evening.
You too. Bye-bye.
Cheers.